For the Marlborough Multi-Cap Growth Fund, we're looking for UK companies with a sustainable competitive advantage. This means they should be able to grow their profits irrespective of the wider economic conditions. This competitive edge may well be an innovative new product, a better management team, or indeed a great brand that consumers love. But more often than not, it's going to be a combination of these sorts of factors. Also important is the kind of sector that these companies operate in, and we're looking for them to display leadership positions in niche sectors where there's limited competition, and crucially they're also benefiting from long-term structural growth trends, what we call secular growth. And an example of this may be e-commerce. So the fund's got about 50 stocks in it, so it's a relatively high conviction approach, and we have the flexibility to really roam across the market spectrum and really hone in on those companies which have got the strongest potential, irrespective of their size. Well, we tend to avoid those sorts of sectors which are more cyclical in nature and dependent on the economy. Or they may just have lower barriers to entry or subject to regulatory interference, particularly in terms of pricing. So examples here may be the utilities or the property sectors. Instead, we prefer sectors which are benefiting from long-term structural growth trends and the sort of sectors that companies can operate in without having to continually invest in property and machinery in order to perpetuate their growth. So examples here may be parts of the technology sector, parts of the health sector, outsourcing, support services, and indeed the e-commerce market as well. Right, well, one of the largest holdings we've got is a company called WorldPay, which is a global leader in payment processing technology. And this business has merged with a company called Vantiv in the United States quite recently, and that's given it the benefit of huge global scale. Payment processing we see as a sector which is really enjoying the move towards e-commerce and also secure payments. Alternatively, another large holding we've had for a while is a company called HomeServe, which provides emergency insurance type services to homeowners. So if you're a member and your boiler breaks down, then they can send somebody out to fix it. And we see some of these companies in the support services sector in a long-term growth phase. HomeServe's done particularly well of late by reinvesting its very strong cash flows into growing its core business overseas, particularly in Europe, but much more importantly in the US, where we see a huge opportunity for them. Also importantly, they've recently acquired the Checkatrade website. And we see this as a great entree into the much larger market, which is the repairs and maintenance sector. One of the key aspects of our approach is that it really is a buy and hold strategy. So you'll see that turnover is fairly low. But having said that, one of the stocks we've been adding to more recently is the Prudential Corporation, which is a global financial services business. And that's really been riding on the back of a long-term growth in the middle class in the emerging market nations. It's seeing particularly strong growth in Asia, where an increasing number of middle-class consumers are showing a really strong appetite for its savings and insurance type products. Another company we've been adding to is a company called Rentokil, which is one of the largest providers of pest control services globally. And that's really benefiting from the long-term structural growth themes of increasing regulation in environmental control, food hygiene and pest control. One of the stocks we've been moving out of, selling recently, is BBA Holdings Company. And that is an owner of private airports in the United States. And that's been benefiting from the long-term trend of increased business travel by executives in North America. The shares have had a very good run of late, and we just see better opportunities elsewhere in the marketplace.